Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on a couple of twists.
We're doing Bharadvajasana.
Bharadvajasana.
They're both from intermediate series.
Yeah.
And Ardha Matsyendrasana.
Yep. And Bharadvajasana, Bharadvaja was a
Sage.
Yeah, a sage, a seer, a rishi in Sanskrit. One of the 7 that wrote the Vedas. I just looked it up on Google. And Ardha Matsyendrasana, Ardha is half. Matsyendra is Lord of the Fishes. So it's half Lord of the Fishes pose.
Which I never understood.
Well,
As a pose, I don't understand.
maybe if you keep practicing. These are both twists that show up in intermediate series from Ashtanga Yoga. And they show up before the leg behind the head sequence and after the back bending, kind of in between there. There's a few other twists in intermediate as well, but you'll have to watch other tutorials for those. We put these two together because they go one after the other.
Yeah, so if you were being taught by your teacher and you're being given poses, these are always given as a pair. They come together.
Yeah, no one ever really gets stuck on them. Before we tell you the secrets about how to do these and teach you the vinyasas, then the ticket to entry is for you to hit the subscribe button. Do it now, please. And might as well like, since your finger
Might as well
is,
like it. Yeah,
is
just
there.
click it.
And then watch the video and afterwards comment. Please let us know that you're out there. And if there's something you want to see, or if you have a question about the pose, ask.
All right.
Okay, let's go through the vinyasa count first.
For both?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same. And then we can do a little bit of breakdown for the postures. Okay. So you've just finished Bakasana, A and B. We have a tutorial for this. I'll link to it there. And now we're going to go Sapta, inhale, you jump through and extend your legs and then exhale there. No count, no movement. Ashta, inhale, take position. Left knee bends into Virasana, right leg into half lotus, twist to the right. We'll describe it in more detail after. Look over your right shoulder, 5 breaths here in the state of the asana. Nava, on the inhale, release your right leg out, or you can keep it in half lotus, pick up, and dasha, exhale as you go back. Yekadasha, inhale, dwadasha, exhale. Left side, prayodasha, inhale, jump through, stretch your legs out, exhale there. Chaturdasha, inhale, take position. Parshvadrishti to the left when you're in the state of the asana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Panchadasha, inhale, your hands down, lift up. Shodasha, exhale, go back. Saptadasha, inhale, and Ashtadasha, exhale. Okay, Ardha Matsyendrasana has the exact same vinyasa. Sapta, inhale, you jump through, extend your legs straight, exhale here. Ashtau, take position. Left knee on the floor, it's bent, right leg comes over, twist to the right, Parshvadrishti. 5 breaths here. Nava, inhale, hands down, lift up. Dasha, exhale, go back. Yekadasha, inhale. Dwadasha, exhale. Trayodasha, inhale, jump through. Stretch the legs out, exhale there. Chaturdasha, left side, so right knee on the floor, left leg comes over, twist to the left side this time. Stay here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Panchadasha, inhale, hands down, lift up. Shodasha, exhale, go back. Saptadasha, inhale. Ashtadasha, exhale. Good. That's it. You should probably do it a little slower.
It's like a marathon. I'm out of breath.
I just wanted to get through it.
It makes it so tricky to go into the pose and then not hold it for 5, and then lift up right away. I barely made those jump backs.
No time to count, no time to breathe. Okay, so obviously both twists, and we've talked a little bit before about what the twists are for. We feel like these are great prep for leg behind the head poses, which are coming next in the intermediate sequence, and we'll show you how that is in a second. So we're starting with Bharadvajasana. This is a pretty accessible posture, surprisingly, because it looks kind of crazy, right? So you're going to bring your left leg into Virasana, and that's like this, where your heel is just to the outside of your hip, and you're gonna open your right leg to about 45 degrees. Your left leg on Jelena's side. Your right leg is coming into half lotus, so the foot comes across and the top of the foot is over the thigh. You're going to twist towards the right, and your right hand is going to reach around and catch your right leg behind your back. Your left hand comes to the outside of the right leg, and then you want to try to get the heel of your left palm onto the floor. So you lean your left shoulder over the left wrist as best you can. That part's kind of tricky. Push through the left hand, push the right shoulder back and the chest up, and then look over your right shoulder. And this is actually a nice twist. Like, it feels good in the body, only if you keep this hip rooting down towards the floor. So make sure when you get set up for this pose that you're not doing an anterior tilt. Okay, see how Jelena's sits bones are lifting off the floor, so that if she twisted in this position, that's actually going to shorten this area. Or also make sure, this is really common, that you're not changing the line of your hips when you change your legs. So a lot of the time when people pull the foot out or something like that, they disturb this line of the hips. You won't be able to see it from the back, but here from the front, do you see how Jelena's right hip bone is drawn back now? Try, whenever you're doing a twist, to keep your sits bones in line on the mat. So that means you're going to have to get the rotation to come from the thigh instead of the movement from the hip. Then you root down through the sits bones, even if they come off the floor. So it's normal for the left sit bone to come off the floor because your left leg's in Virasana and you're leaning over into your left hand. So it's not that you have to keep the sits bones connected, but you want to keep that posterior tilt so that there's like that pulling down action, a rooting action. Then pushing into that left hand, you're going to feel this nice deep stretch here in the glute medius and all along the right side and the QL and everything. And you're opening up the chest. That's it, and taking 5 deep breaths there. When it's time to release out of the pose, you can extend your right leg out the same way. This is kind of like the vinyasa that we do it's the exact same vinyasa for Tiryang Mukhi Eka Paschimottanasana or Crown Chasana if it was in the air. Or, arguably, you could keep your right leg in half lotus and just bring your hands down. Rock forward, pick up, and then exhale, go back. Okay? Did I miss anything in Bharadvajasana?
No, I sometimes use, not sometimes, all the time. So this foot that's here in half lotus, once I bind, remember we've talked about this in our previous videos, don't just catch onto your big toe with your 2 fingers and pull, because it can actually hurt. Try to catch the whole top of the foot, and then this is what I do. I actually flex a little bit. So as my foot goes into flexion, I feel more pressure in my lower belly, which is almost that cue to pull back and round. But I can also relax the arm, because now the foot being flexed, it's kind of like my arm's like a hook on top, and then I can feel more sensations of stretching when I do it like that. Here.
This is what I always see, is people way over here. See this angle, where they're kind of collapsing. And
this
the heel of the palm starts to lift.
On the floor either. So there.
Yeah, really try to travel with your right shoulder over your wrist. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this twist.
Let's not bother with the vinyasa for the next one. We'll
Yeah.
just go straight into it. So Ardha Matsyendrasana, a little bit of a deeper twist. You've got less movement available to you because your hips are grounded on the floor. And then basically, so the last angle that we had was 90 degrees, like your thighs are each out at 45 degrees with your hips in line. Now, it's like you want your thighs to taper in towards the center line so that if you drew, a line from your, in this case, the first side, the right knee, it would line up with your sternum. And your left knee would line up with your pelvis, with the center of your pelvis. So you're trying to make the knees kind of cross over the center line of the body. And then it's the spine that twists, right? So we're going to, again, try to keep that hip down. So don't hike it up by arching, and don't pull it back, moving. You're going to try to keep the hips planted, tuck, pull in on the belly, and then get the movement to come from the thoracic spine, from your rib cage. And you can use your arm, now the strength of your shoulder against your right leg. Your left shoulder, left upper arm is pushing back, and you try to catch the instep of your foot. And then this right arm comes around behind you and hooks onto the thigh or whatever you can grab there. Maybe it's your shirt or your hip bone. But
Leggings.
your leggings, yeah. Yeah, I won't tell you what I grabbed. But you're trying to use the strength of your arms to leverage the chest open. In that pose, it can be very deep.
It is very deep. I find that you just really have to be careful when you move into it to stay very formal and focused on your hips, because it's so easy to go into crooked stuff. So even when you move, round your back and move from here, and you can put one, then the other, and then proceed. And then grounding through this heel.
Keeps the hip in a posterior tilt.
Yeah.
That means you're using your hamstrings, right? The strength in your leg by pushing down through the heel. You're kind of pulling that hip forward, scooping it forward as you come into the pose. And then one of the things that I've noticed, being kind of short-legged and twists not coming very easy for me, is the position of this foot really makes a big difference. So if you're a shorter leg, longer torso type person, try bringing your foot just a little further back. It'll be a bit harder to clear here, so you have to lean your torso back, to get around the leg.
Or scoop.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
And then you'll get a bit more play with your shoulder here against your leg, a bit more contact, You can get a bit more leverage into the twist, I find, personally. And then you're also that much closer to your center here, so that you can get that other hand to catch the thigh around the back. Anyway, experiment with it. She disagrees, but that's okay.
I didn't say that. What do you do first? Do you catch the foot in front, or do you do the arm back into the...
Sharatji told me to catch the foot in front first.
I do it like that. I was just curious.
Yeah, of course.
I find it easier because I have something to push against as I bring that arm. And then again, because we're bringing this arm, depending on the length of your arm. So if you're like me, shorter arm, then kind of doing that whip and relaxing your hand makes it easier to get the hand to come closer to where you want it to be. Probably won't be there at first, but letting go a little bit helps, as opposed to going slow. Then it's stuck, not long enough.
All right. Lots to tell you about these two poses, which are not so bad, really, compared to a lot of the other postures in intermediate.
Yeah, they're nice. They're almost like really bit restorative, but they really teach you to focus on isolating the way your spine works and staying connected to your hips, which becomes very important as we move into like behind head.
Okay, so was that helpful? Let us know in the comments section. Remember to subscribe and like.
See you soon.
Bye.